Hello, beautiful souls. It is February 19th, 2023, and I am coming to you today with a message that I woke up with. We have been just going through the fire of ascension symptoms and some things from our past have come back up and causes you to rethink and recalibrate and recenter and refocus and all these things, right? So ascension and shadow work and that growth is eternal. It happens all the time. Even in the higher realms, you're going to continue to, free will choice, right? So you can have the option to just sit and be, or you have the option to search and seek and find new motivation and new information and see where that takes you, and does it resonate with your soul. So I've been going through a lot of that. I know I'm not the only one. A lot of people have expressed to me what they've been going through, and it's so similar. While it's individual, I always stress that your story is not my story and vice versa. It is very aligned. We seem to have, as starseed, we seem to have very similar lineages of this life, very rough childhood and a very ungrounded young adult life and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I went to bed last night, and normally I meditate before I go to sleep, and I didn't. I specifically said to Father, Mother, Source, I want whatever I need to help me process the information that came to me today, which was yesterday. I want whatever I need to help me process that in the most efficient, healthy, soul fueling way to be given to me. Please. Again, I don't have the answers. I seek the answers. And so when you ask for something, speaking for myself, when I ask for something, and then Source is grace and mercy and loving and caring and compassionate and empathetic and gives me exactly what I asked for, it is then up to me to decide, how is this best going to solve the issue? What am I going to do with this now? What does it mean? Right? So you may be wondering why I have a fire dragon behind me. And I woke up with this message coming through me that we are all born with a fire dragon. We all have a fire dragon that is there for us from the time that we first arrive on this planet. And they are there with us, waiting to be called in. And they have enormous power. They have heart energy power. They have loving power, and they have elemental power. They are an elemental. So air, fire, earth, water, those are your elements. We have the ethers too, but those are your elements for your dragons. I already knew months back that I had a water dragon and an air dragon. I did not know about the fire dragon. I learned about the fire dragon piece from Jen, Metatron Speaking, when she did her dragon show. And I invite you to go look at her stuff. It's great. She channels Metatron and Source and many ascendant masters and archangels. So anyway, we need, as a collective, to be motivated and encouraged and supported and opening up our heart chakra. Not only that, opening up our physical heart to what lies ahead of us. Now, someone like me, my heart has been pretty much a punching bag my whole life. And so I'm no longer the hopeless romantic that I started out being. And I'm sad about that, but I know that I will get that back when it is time for me. It was a self-preservation mechanism, like most of us have done, to strengthen that exterior of our heart. Well, through the course of shadow work and through the course of the solar energy coming in and the work that's being done on our celestial DNA and our light body and all the things, it really had a spotlight put on that limitation, that binding. Because if something is scarred, it cannot expand. So when you have a body part that, like a lot of people get nasal polyps in their sinuses, part of the treatment is that they remove the polyp and then they burn that area that the polyp grew from. They burn it away, and then so it scars, and so it cannot expand and fill with fluid again. Well, that's a pretty good analogy for what we do to our heart. It gets burned, we get hurt, and it doesn't take, it's different for everyone, but eventually you have enough wounds there that it's real hard for that heart to expand out and open up and go into the life that we have before us, open and wide, and experiencing true joy, love, compassion, bliss, empathy. And as an empath, I can give that to a certain extent. I'm much more comfortable giving than I am receiving, because I'm not in the practice of receiving. I have not, and I don't say this for any kind of sympathy or anything like that. I'm just excited. I have not been on the receiving end of a lot of, sorry, I have something in my eye. A love that is, warming, heartwarming, palpable. Like, your kids love you, right? And your friends have a love for you or whatever. But I've just not really been on the receiving end for very long, anyway, of that true, unbridled, no holds barred, anything is possible love. But I want to give it, right? I want to give that to people. But I haven't had much of it. So it's like, we need to take care of this heart first before we can move forward and take care of other people's hearts. And so I woke up with these thoughts running around my head. And so threw together some notes. So part of I think the instigation of this too is that on tomorrow, 2/20 is a new moon. Got that new moon energy. And then 2/23 is Lightworker Gateway Portal. And that Lightworker Gateway is significant because there is tears in the veil. And through those tears, through that membrane that has been keeping us separate from higher realm energy, that's going to flood in for us. It is going to flood in. And so we're going to have these floods of beautiful energy. And what is that going to do? It is going to promptly collide with the chaos, because where one exists, the other cannot. So those higher vibrational feelings are going to flood in. love, gratitude, compassion, bliss, joy, ecstasy. And that vibration is super high. And that vibration is where we are going. Some of us are there, most of us are trajectory headed that direction, but it is going to clash with the self-limiting behavior and the looping negative thoughts that a lot of us deal with of being undeserving, unlovable, self-sabotage, self-limiting behavior, taking yourself out of the race before you even get started, that kind of stuff. That those two things are not going to exist in the same timeline, in the same plane. That higher vibrational emotion, feeling, energy is going to win out. For me, that's what's going to happen. That's going to win out. What does that mean? That means I need to do the work. I have to do the work to clear out the shadows, to clear out the bullshit, to clear out the negative looping information that really, truly is not for my best, highest, and best good. It's been a part of the control matrix. It's been a part of what keeps you small and keeps your light dim and keeps you feeling like you don't have power, but you really do have power. You really do have power. So it's another motivating factor to cut the matrix attachments because they do you no good. They are not serving your greatest and highest good. I think a huge part of that is going to be that people have to get off social media. That is a crazy making in real time. Why? Stop asking 8,000 people why. Get off social media and figure out within you why. What does why mean to you? Who are you? Why does it matter? Why are you worried about that question? What is it in that question that's going to change your life? I dare say probably nothing. We're not finding ascension, salvation, gold. We're not finding the meat, the essence of who we are on Twitter. We're not. We're finding other souls there that are searching and seeking for the truth. But that's not where the truth is found. It's always found within us, right? We just have to get to that point to where we realize to save the world, we have to start with ourselves. And if you're not brave enough or courageous enough or strong enough or have the power to save yourself, how long can you really go about trying to save the world? Like, realistically, that is going to be a very self-limiting prophecy right there. So that dragon energy is divine feminine power. What has been kept away from us for thousands of years? Divine feminine power. Knowledge of the divine feminine. What is the divine feminine? Well, we're learning, and a lot of people understand now, that divine feminine was excised out of our history in multiple forms by multiple different collectives. Because as a people, whether you are male or female, if you are aware of divine feminine power and all that it entails, no way was the controller agenda going to succeed. No way. Absolutely not. It was going to be a failure. So it was kept hidden. People lost their lives. People were punished. People were put in jail. Books were burned. Crazy the links that they went to. And you have to ask yourself, would they go to those links if the consequence of knowing about the divine feminine were nil? If it didn't have a profound impact on humanity, do you really think they would have gone to that link to suppress it? Do your research. So the motivation is within each of us, no matter, again, whether you're male or female, that you find balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Because it is in that balance where you literally have a good measure of both qualities, and you have worked through it into where you can see that you have unity consciousness because you are built on a foundation, a balanced foundation of divine feminine and divine masculine. It is then that you can truly ascend. If you're way out of balance, you're going to keep sliding down that hill. You're not going to be able to make it to have a firm foundation. It's just impossible. So the other prevalent message that I woke up with, which I had woken up before, but it was never tied into dragon energy, and that was to remember why we were ever sent here, volunteered to come here, chosen to be here, arrived here, however you want to say it. Starseeds came here with a purpose bigger than our individuality. And it is to anchor Christ consciousness, remember that we are powerful light beings in service of Source Creator, and share it out. Raise our frequency, people around us raise their frequency. You know, you don't, unless you're on an island, you really don't ascend alone, because anyone in your energy field, anyone in your hearing your voice or seeing your face, being around you has a positive effect of that higher frequency. So the act of stepping in our roles, because we all have divine roles, and we agreed to those roles before we ever arrived in this earth, in this dimension. That is happening soon. You can take it to the bank. Okay? There is way too many signs that you would have to be blind and deaf and really not cognitively intact to understand it's happening. It's happening. So we have to prepare ourselves. The solar energy, the shadow work, the alignment to source, all these things work together to prepare you so that you clear out the shadows and you can take more in this, right? So 2023, Lightworker Gateway Portal, all this good, powerful energy is going to flood in. You have to be able to take it. If your cup is already full of baggage, it has nowhere to go. You have to empty out your vessel of things that are not serving you so that you can have the good things in there that do serve you, that do propel you in the proper direction in alignment with source, so that you can hold on to that, so that you can benefit from that power. You can benefit from that flow, and it further aligns you down the new earth pathway. So the act of stepping into your role, which again, your divine role, is going to trigger people in your life. Because the sad truth is that there are people around you that don't have a soul, or that are dark souls. And they've been feeding off your light and your energy for a long time. And so if you start to do your shadow work and realize that the behaviors and the back and forth and the, every time you get around them, they just feel like they're sucking the life out of you. And then all of a sudden you realize, holy shit, they are sucking the life out of me. And you put up a healthy boundary, and then you are unapologetic in maintaining that boundary, they're going to rebel. That's going to trigger them because you are cutting off their energy supply. And so you have to know what to do. And it doesn't mean anything other than you continue to protect your power, your energy. And that takes the power back for you and away from them. And laugh all the way to new earth. It's that simple. But when you're ignorant to what's happening, conscious to what's happening, I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm just saying, like, in the truest sense of the term, many, many, many of us, myself included, have been taken advantage of because we had people in our immediate vicinity of life that was taking advantage of us, and we felt compelled to put up with it because they were someone you worked with, or a boss, or someone in your family, and you felt like, there was nothing you can do about that. That's not exactly true. You can't. You just have to decide that your sovereignty, your power, your energy is important enough to stand up for, to be the caretaker of your own soul. Again, saving the world starts with you saving yourself. So they will fling anything and everything at you, okay? So then they realize that you're cutting them off. All of a sudden, blame, shame, pain, they're going to hurt you. They're going to hit you where it hurts. You have to pull up your bootstraps and be like, okay, I see you. I'm going to give you a chance to go to the light. You would like to go to the light instead of flinging negative energy at me? Archangel Michael will come down and hold your hand and take you to the light. But if you keep choosing to do this to me, I have no choice but to stop. That's it. And then you put a stop to it. And that is setting your boundary, protecting your energy field, clearing your energy field, transmuting that pain, that toxic, whatever energy that they sent you, to love and light. And you grow stronger and they're cut off. You cut them off from your energy field. They have no access. They are blocked. You cut them off. It's just that easy. But again, free will choice. They're going to guilt you. They're going to say, oh, we're friends, or you're my sister, or I'm your mom. You can't treat me that way. And I'm telling you right now, the darkness comes in all the areas where they can manipulate your weakness. Any kind of space that you feel not as empowered and weak. So if it's a sick child, or your mom that's, recently widowed, or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that those things aren't sad and bad. I'm just saying when people use those situations to manipulate you to be energy vampires, that is not okay. And there is a difference between being a empathetic, sympathetic friend, family, spouse, coworker, than being used, manipulated, and basically energy attacked. So you have to decide. Free will choice. What am I going to do about that? No one's going to come save you. You have to save you. You have to determine that you are important enough to save yourself. Again, Prime Source Creator chose us because we volunteered. We had our hand up. He said, we want to go to Earth. We want to drop down from the higher dimension that we've already ascended to and go down to Earth and help raise the vibration, help anchor Christ consciousness, help the collective humanity, because they deserve a better life than this negative looping matrix that they've been stuck on from the darkness. So remember, you agreed to it. You put your hand up, you were selected, and you agreed to it. Is it a bed of roses? No, not. I mean, there's highs and lows every day. My highs and lows look like SVT. You're a nurse or in cardiology, you know what I'm talking about. But when it's tough, we have so many divine tools at our disposal. One is dragon energy, fire dragon energy. It is with us from birth. I don't like to say birth. It's with us from arrival. Just like our guardian angels are with us from arrival. Most people don't even know about that. When you're born into a certain date range of within 4 days, you have a guardian angel and either 1 or 2 archangels assigned to you. It is not just Archangel Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. There's a ton. I have videos about that too. And they just wanted to keep us ignorant and dependent upon them for every morsel and crumb of information. Begging for salvation. We don't need to beg for salvation. We are divine. We are divine. We were put here divine. That's it. That's it. Choose the light. There you go. Boom. You're done. You're done. So we are meant to be new earth leaders. We are meant to be the first wave, the pioneers. We're the first time in the history of the universe has a humanity, a population of people been on the planet while the planet has ascended. First time ever. And you know what? We are rocking it. We have done it. We have done it. The matrix and the darkness is just throwing stones right now because they're kicking and screaming because their time is done. Their time is done. So as a new earth leader, don't be out there on the fringe. Don't be out there thinking that you don't have what it takes or that you're the minority, because you're not. You're chosen and you're divine and you have more power within your own soul than 1, 10, 100 people that don't have a soul and are of the dark, because they can't even produce their own energy. They don't even have power. They don't even have frequency. It's very, very low. We're very, very high. That's why there's a divergence. So the dragon energy is going to boost what you have. And it's going to help push you through when the times get tough. So you call in your energy. You call in your energy. If you're in touch with your higher self, your true higher self is there for you. You can determine your dragon's name. I know my dragon's names, but you don't have to. You can just call in my fire dragon, my dragon that's been with me since my arrival. I call on you now to give me power, to give me courage, to give me strength, to light the way. I call on you to give me protection. I call on you to help protect my energy from outside forces that are not in my highest and best good. It's that easy. Boom, they're there. Again, you're in touch with your higher self. You have some doubts? Okay, that's fine. That's reasonable. Call in your dragon. Whatever it is that you ask your dragon to do, ask your higher self. Did my dragon do blah, blah, blah? Yes or no? Yes or no? That easy. You're going to get confirmation. These beings are here for us because we have been chosen to lead our population of people in the new earth. So our success is vital, vital. And they are just waiting for us to call them in. They are not, universal law and the law of one. They're not going to come in and just hold us. We have to ask. Free will choice. We have to ask for them to come in. But when we ask, it is honored. You don't have to do anything special. There's no hoops to jump through. You don't have to say 18 Hail Marys and blah, 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 blah. No. Just calling in. Been waiting your whole life for that call to come in. When I first had the download about our angels that are assigned to us, it came because someone that I was doing some work with kept saying, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael. And I was like, there's probably a whole host of angels sitting around on the beach somewhere. Like, I sure wish my person would call my name. And when I said that, Mother Sophia was like, yes. And you need to figure that out and you need to get that out, people, because angels are waiting to be called in. They are waiting to come in and help their people. And no one knows their name. So if no one their name. I know that they exist. How can they call them in? And I was like, no shit. So that's how the Angel Project was born. And am I the first one to do it? No, but people have it in YouTube and stuff, and it's just not user friendly. So I'm trying to make it a more user friendly where you don't have to know the angel's name. You just put in your birthday and your angel will come up. Or you can put in something that you're struggling with because they have different areas of expertise. And so you can put in what you're struggling with and you can pull up all the angels that's their wheelhouse and call on them. And then they become your guides. It's like the coolest thing ever. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So when you're starting to stand up for yourself and you are channeling that dragon energy, and I'm getting chills. It is giving you, it's filling all the little cracks in your soul because you have fractured soul from living on this gangster planet, and you're doing shadow work to bring your soul back into unity. But until you do, you've got gaps and holes where the energy escapes. Well, that dragon energy is going to just fill in all of that. And all of a sudden, you're going to be like, so this is what self-confidence feels like. So this is what true power of the divine feels like. I don't doubt myself at all in this now moment. And that, my friend, is what the controllers never wanted us to feel. And so I opened my eyes and I got this message and I made these, you can't see it, but I made a bunch of notes. Then I start going through these notifications, right? There are dragon messages coming through all these different people. I saw one from Gene Decode. I saw one from Jim Metatron speaking. I saw one somewhere else, I forget. And so I said, man, what's up with all this dragon energy today? Like, did I miss something? Because I thought my request was, my request. And I got, well, the dragons are here because you called them in. Point taken. As your frequency gets higher and higher and higher, now mine is infinite because I've done a lot. I've done a lot of work. And although I'm still in this 3D body, I've done a lot. Just leave it at that. Yeah, I'm manifesting these thoughts. So the flip side of that, and source, this is an example. I don't want to manifest this. If the flip side of that was in the process of doing my shadow work, all these people from my past that I had already dealt with, I had already cut the cords, I had already healed the trauma, I had already healed the attachment. Now they're back, and I'm just going to stomp my feet, and I'm not doing it again. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just gonna cross my arms and be like a little titty baby. Well, where do you think that would have manifested? I mean, does that not sound like a toddler tantrum? And what good has ever come from that? Like, no good has ever come from that. So I say that to say, on this journey, this is like our training ground right now. Until we are fully 5D, everyone anchored, everyone high frequency, everybody, all of Earth 5D, we're in training. And it's so that we learn to think what we really want to see. Because the higher you vibrate and the higher your frequency is, the quicker you're going to manifest. And so as I'm processing things and as I'm dealing with all the stuff, right? I catch myself right away. I'm not perfect. I'm not here to say I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. I catch myself as quick as possible whenever I know I call it. I'm like, I just had such a 3D response to that. Nope, I'm not going down that road. Nope, that's not how it is. This is the way it is. And I revert that thinking and I choose the opposite direction, right? And that's the way you combat this. That is the way that you train your brain out of the mind control, out of the loop of negativity, out of the what ifs, out of the I don't deserve, I can't have, it's not for me, it's for someone else, I'm just the worker bee, like all of that stuff. This is where we figure out how to not be that. Because being that creates more of that. And that is what we're all trying to escape. That is not the world that Prime Source Creator, Mother Sophia, created for us. It was hijacked, and we've taken it back. Whew, so much energy. So we need to rejoice in remembering or discovering, if it's your first time, true purpose of why we're here. And the absolute mind-bending power that we possess within us, just for being divinely chosen, volunteered, ascended souls. We are here for a huge, huge role. Every time we decide we're strong enough to take on this little battle, show it who's boss, well, we're changing timelines. We're changing timelines all the time, literally all the time. It's a matrix construct that doesn't allow our current mind to understand that. But the best illustration, that's going to blow your mind. The best illustration is Doctor Strange and the multiverse. That's some true shit right there. And I will tell you that I learned a long time ago, the Marvel and the DC movies are documentaries. All those guys that are writing that, they're all higher dimension beings. And they know what they're talking about. And they have connections to the Alliance. And they understand that programmable matter is a thing. Like that is the thing that we're going to actually create new infrastructure with. None of this concrete. Anyway, so I think for me, understanding my purpose in life was very motivating, but there's a certain aspect of human that will, and because I've encountered them, this is not hypothetical. People have to tell me to kind of like tap the brakes because you can see, I get like super excited about all this stuff. I'm just thinking, man, this is freaking awesome. And then I encounter someone and they're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Have a nice life. So again, free will choice. You can be a starseed. You can have volunteered. You can have arrived. You can have all the things, and your free will choice in this now moment can pivot you the other direction because it's easier. So you think. Because it's fear, and you have lived in fear. And so now fear is comfortable, and you expect fear, and you believe that you don't deserve it, and you believe that there's no such thing as magic, and you believe that there's no such thing as the divine. And so that's your choice. A lot of people have done that. I hope that they come back to what reality is, because the reality is not this stuff. Reality is this, not this. And that to me is so exciting and motivating. But when you take your power back, we begin to break that hold that fear and shame and blame have over us. And so You know, those feelings reach up out of the shadows that are within you, and they hold you back. They grab you by the shoulder and say, they're not talking to you. Mm-mm. You don't deserve that. Don't you remember? Your dad said you weren't deserving of anything, and he was right. Like, that's how it works. So literally, I'm telling you, hear me now. If you didn't hear anything in this entire video, hear me now. When you believe the one thing that your power is within you, and the only power they have is what you gave them, take it back. Take it back. Like, no, no. I love myself enough to at least try. And you can't have my power anymore. And I don't believe I need to be shamed, and I'm not to blame. So stop it and take the next step. As soon as you take that step and put that boundary up, they don't have a chance, because you're going to be rewarded. Your guides are just waiting for that. Source is waiting for that. I'm getting the coach. As soon as you make that decision that is in alignment with source and your soul, you're going to feel it in your soul. You're going to get this warm and fuzzy feeling, like the best hug from the biggest, plushest teddy bear ever. And it's going to feel so good. You're going to be like, ooh, I want some more of that. And it feels so much better than that crap I had back there. I'm never going back again. And then they die because they have no energy and they're low vibration, and you head off the high vibration highway. It's not that hard. I mean, for some people it's hard. I don't mean to say that shadow work is not hard. Shadow work is hard, but that's where you get the highs and the lows, right? You get a victory, next shadow, victory, next shadow, victory. I'm living proof of it. I'm not trying to act like I don't. I go through it. If you're in my Telegram group, you know we all go through it, but we're there to support each other. You're not going through this alone. I'm not the only person feeling what I'm feeling. I guarantee you there's 10 people right now watching this video going, she's talking about me. It's inevitable, because we're going through the same thing at the same time. My specifics are different, and I get that, but the journey is really the same. So as soon as you decide, you know that your true north is source creator, and that is where you're heading. And no matter who pulls you to the left or who pulls you to the right, you know you're heading, and you just keep choosing that heading, and you're going to keep getting rewarded and keep getting rewarded and keep getting the love fields, and your chakras are going to open, and your heart's going to finally be able to open. And next thing you know, that tough exterior that you developed out of self-preservation is going to no longer exist, because it's going to have torn apart. You yourself, your love for yourself, that is not containable anymore. It's bigger than what you allowed ever in your life. It's going to break through that. And then you're going to feel it. You're going to all of a sudden not be numb there anymore. And feeling that emotion in your heart, it's going to feel good for the first time, or for one of the first times. And you're going to want more of it. And you're going to do what you need to do to take care of yourself, take care of your energy, take care of your purpose, your journey. You're going to protect it. You're going to start making decisions that really navigate yourself back to that true north, because then now you know what it feels like. There's a payoff, and that payoff is you're rewarded from the source creator. He says, I see what you're going through, and you're doing such a good job. Keep going. You're doing such a good job. So the battle is won or lost in our mind. And quite honestly, that's exactly how we got to this point, right? They told us and told us and told us, and they told our parents who told us, and they told, like, our grandparents told our parents who told us that we could only be what they said we could be. And all the other stuff was not for us. And so the battle is won or lost in your mind. Just try it. Just one day. Just try it. You're like, I'm going to step out of that comfort zone of fear because I know that fear because I've lived with it my whole life. And I want to step into the uncomfortableness of self-love, compassion for myself. I'm going to do something for me today, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Even if it's 30 minutes, to give yourself a break off of that loop of negative thinking. That's all it takes. Call in your dragon. Like, look, this is going to be the first time in my life I stand up for myself, and I really don't know if I can do it, and I need your help. I need your help right now. You will feel it. You will feel it in your soul, and you will immediately know. That's how we get told. No one's going to come down and be like, all right, Susie, you did a great job today, and check off your checklist. Tomorrow. That's not how it happens. You feel it. You feel it in your heart. I feel it in my heart, my chest, I feel it in my solar plexus. I feel that someone is squeezing me and giving me the biggest hug ever. And I feel this rush of emotion of love, and I feel goosebumps, and I feel all the good tingling feelings. Feel it. You feel the emotion. So on 2023 or 223, you want to be able to feel it. So you've got to make room. You've got to get rid of the stuff that's taking up space that no longer serves you so that you can have room for the flow of the good things, the good stuff to come in. There's no room for it, you're going to miss out. It's going to be out there floating in the ethers, and you're going to see other people having joy and bliss and all kinds of stuff. And you're going to be like, well, why can't I have that? And that's just going to further feed your blame, shame, pain bodies that you deal with all the time. And it's just because you got to be brave enough to do the shadow work. You got to deal with your shit. We all do. It's not going to kill you, I promise. I promise. You're going to feel it. You're going to cry. You might puke. You might want to kick something. You might just be like, this was nothing. I thought it was this big, huge bear of a thing. And now that I'm in it, I realize I've already been through it. I've just been dragging this box of shit around with me for a decade. I don't need that anymore. And then you're done. But you don't know till you try. So just try. So whenever you understand that and you make the decision to do it, it is a mind over matter kind of thing, right? And the matter is our flesh, this meat suit that we're wearing, this avatar that we're in. That's the density. That's the D in 3D. That's your density, heavy. The matter is the body. The Shakti is the expression of your soul. And that's what you want. So you want to be able to, your body to express what your soul is feeling. They go hand in hand, the yin and the yang, right? So be true to your soul. And how are you true to your soul? This may be a completely foreign concept to you. I know it was to me at one time because I was so numbed down to what that meant. When your soul is telling you you're doing things that are not in alignment with source, not in your greatest good, you feel it. You feel pain, you feel anxiety, you feel depression, you feel sick, you feel heavy, you feel fatigue. When your soul is true to source, in alignment, and you are feeding what feeds your soul, you are invigorated. You have energy. You sleep uninterrupted. You wake up with the birds singing. I'm not kidding you. Like, it is night and day, literal dark versus light. Like, just amazing. So whenever you do that, the light, the love, the compassion, the gratitude, the kindness, the empathy, the strength, the dedication, the willpower, the faith, trust, honesty, all those things become instead of rarities, they become the common. You get used to what this feels like, and this feels good, and you want more of it. And then it helps you recognize the dark when it starts to creep back in, and you're like, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. There's no more room for that. No more room for that. You feeling weak? Call in your dragon tribe. They're here for you. Everything is inside. Now, a long time ago, when I read the Sophia Code and I read about the dragon tribe, it was this concept that sounded really, really great. And I couldn't really wrap my brain around it because it wasn't for my brain to wrap around. It was for my soul and my heart to wrap around. And so once I was further down the ascension path and my DNA was getting activated and I had healed and I didn't have any more blockages and I could connect to my higher self, I went back in and I read this again. It made so much more sense because it was speaking to my soul. My soul could recognize it. The flow of energy was definitely in place. So I'm going to close out this video reading a little bit of the Sophia Code from key code 777, the Sophia Dragons. There are 2 white Sophia Dragon creatrix mothers that are the chief seraphiel of our angelic order. So the seraphim is the very highest of the high in the angelic order. I cover all that in my angelic realm video. Ever spiraling within the sacred heart of Sophia's light, the seraphiel or the double helix blueprint for gestating and birthing all of creation. There is no known beginning or end to their bodies. With innumerable white feathered wings whirling in and out of their scales, they continually sing the rapturous songs of Sophia to birth new universes into form. All Sophia dragons originate from these 2 creatrix mothers. Therefore, we are inclined to work together in pairs when activating initiates. As an angelic collective consciousness, our scales are always singing in unison with the birthing songs of the seraphiel, no matter where we are in the universe. As we are responsible for birthing creations, the size of our magnificent bodies is beyond any human concept that can currently exist in your dragon lore. However, when we appear to you on the inner planes, we shift our size so that you can take in the features of our faces and some other details that informs your consciousness that our teaching is fully embodiment. The Sophia Dragon lineage includes many light ray wisdom embodiments for guiding your journey of self-actualized sovereignty. But know this, we are asking you to see us beyond the limitations of form. The Sophia Dragons are the perfect cone of your universe. As soon as we are defined, we are given new boundaries to redefine ourselves. There is no apt description that can capture our unlimited divine nature. If you allow us to be who we are, indefinably in magic, divine love, and power, you will come to know your own angelic and unlimited sovereign self in our reflection. So take care in your attempt to understand us through the attachments of your mind. It is only through your heart that you can behold us mentoring your embodiment of sovereignty. The dragon energy is here. It's available to you. Call it in, feel it, embody it, and know that you deserve every bit of power, of grace, of mercy, and all the goodness of the golden age of miracles. Thank you for joining me today on Healing Disclosures. I'll see you next time.